Good evening, everybody. How we doing on this Saturday night? Yes, folks, we are back with another installment of the Sticky Finger Sports Show right here on the ATR Network. I'm John. As always, I am joined with Carl tonight. Carl, what's going on?
Not much. Ready for the show.
Oh, yes, folks, we have a lot to get to tonight. And, folks, if you'd like to find us, we are on Twitter at ATR_network. Is actually remember the Twitter handle this time. You can also find us on Facebook. You can find we're on every social media platform you can think of. But Carl, were you able to handle the cold today after it's been kind of warm the last few days?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But it wasn't so cold this week for the New York Yankees. And who I mean specifically is Mr. Aaron Judge, who now holds the record for the most home runs in a season. Pretty much can write his check now to whatever team he wants to go to.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we broke the news during our Tuesday show. And yes. when you saw, I'm assuming you've seen the play of what led to it, the whole moment right there.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts going through your head?
Good for him.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is a guy right now who pretty much bet on himself because originally the Yankees wanted to offer him an insane contract, I remember, at the start of the season, and he turned it down and ended up signing a 1-year, $19 million deal. Mm-hmm. And basically what ended up happening was he ended up basically betting on himself. And I think it paid off pretty well.
Yes, it did.
I mean, I'm going to pull up his overall season stats because he was pretty much number one in every.
He is number one in every category that a player can get, except for those that are a pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, he did fall short, though, on average. He only fell short by literally 5 points because Arias from the Twins, Luis Arias, ended up having a higher batting average than him at 316, but he was first in home runs, first in RBIs, first in runs, first in on base percentage, first in slugging percentage, first in OPS. That's not bad.
No.
When, mind you, his numbers overall for the season, which I'll read right now, if my internet will actually work and log in. And okay, in 570 at-bats, he had a batting average of 311, 62 home runs, 131 runs batted in, 16 stolen bases, and had an OPS of 1.111.
That's not bad.
Which is not bad. Mind you, this is, I think, one of his first actual healthy seasons that he's actually played.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I stand corrected. Nope, actually, yep, I was right. This is his first. Do you know this is the first time he's actually played a full season?
Yes.
And I know, managers love to give some time off here and there, but the closest he ever had to this was in 2017 when he played 155 games.
Yeah.
And that year he had 52 home runs. So it makes sense.
Yep.
The years where he's played the most, he's ended up having the most success. But I think the big thing with him, though, is what's going to happen to him come free agency.
Yeah.
Being that now he does own the record that has held, that was pretty much in existence, that hasn't been touched in over 60 years.
61 years.
Yeah. He pretty much writes his own ticket at this point. He can pretty much look
at it. For the most part. I want to say that. For the most part, yes.
Yeah, but, I mean, being realistic, how much do you think he'll end up making for his new contract?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean,
because I have my guess at probably about $45 million a year. But again, here's the only issue that comes into play. This guy has been injury prone. Okay? Mm-hmm. He's had injury problems. This was his first full year where he had no injury.
Real quick, we got from Dave. Hey guys, just saying a quick hello before I settle in for the pay-per-view.
Yes, David.
Dave,
yes.
Don't you mean live event? But thank you for catching us out, brother.
But
and thank you for everything you do for us over on the other side of the pond.
Yes, David. I just think the problem is, is this a 1 year thing?
I think this is a fluke season for him, that he's fully healed and was able to play a full season.
Because I mean,
one thing though, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Yankees screwed up.
In what way?
By them sitting him after he hit 62.
I mean, yes, I understand.
He's on a hot streak. You don't sit him. Now he's cold again.
Yeah, I know, and I get that. And we actually know we'll wait on who they're playing in the LDS in a second. But going through his stats, since he's been playing in 2016, I'll just read you the amount of games he's played. Okay? In 2016, he played 27 games. In 2017, he played 155. 2018, he played 112. 2019, he played 102. Back in 2020, he only played 28. But I think if I remember correctly, that year was the shortened year. I think they only played like 60 games that year because of COVID.
Yeah.
In 2021, he had 148 games, and this year he played 157. So the fact that this is his first full year in almost 6 years, problem is, like, I look at his home run totals since he started. He had 4 in his first year, 52 in his second year, 27 in his third year, 27 in his fourth year, 9 in his fifth year, 39 in 2021, and obviously this past year he had the 62.
Right.
So to me, if he was averaging like 30 home runs a year, then I would say fine, give him, $50 million a year. But he's also not young anymore, and that's the big key with him. He right now, if I'm looking at this correctly, he's going to be 30, or he'll be 31 next April, because his birthday is April 26th. So he's getting to that age.
Yeah.
Now, being realistic though, you look at all the teams right now. There's only 3 teams realistically on paper that could afford Aaron Judge. One of them is the New York Yankees. The other one is the San Francisco Giants, which is his hometown team.
Yep.
And the third one is a team that it's tough for people to actually admit this, but the New York Mets are the third who could afford him.
You could put a fourth team up.
Who?
If they really, really wanted him.
Who, Boston?
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't think he would go there. I just think realistically, the top 3, and again, I have no insider source on this. I don't know if this is true or not. I mentioned San Fran because that's his hometown, and the owner has already gone on record as saying he'll pay whatever it can to get him out west.
Yeah, get him home. Get a homeboy home.
The Mets, it would be because Steve Cohen right now is George Steinbrenner 2.0. And basically we'll turn around and say, especially depending on how they do in the postseason this year.
Yeah.
Has already said he'll pay whatever they can to bring a winning team to Queens.
Yep.
And realistically, I mean, you look at him going to the Mets, you put him there with Alonso. You have a full year with Alvarez at catcher. You may actually have what it takes for this team to do something.
Yeah.
And compete with your Atlanta Braves and your St. Louis Cardinals, and hell, even your Los Angeles Dodgers to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, to me, now the reason why I didn't say the Yankees in that, the reason why I have the Yankees down on my list of teams that he's going to want to go to, and I mentioned this in the comment section on Tuesday's show. They already owe Stanton they're still paying Stanton's contract off, the one that he signed with Miami back in 2013.
Yep.
They're also paying Cole north of $30 million
Yeah.
in his deal. So right now it's, I mean, I don't know financially if they can right now. And it's weird to think it's the Yankees we're talking about here, but I don't think financially they can afford to pay three guys over $30 million and be able to contend.
No, because you know why? And it's the sad part is they don't have the money that they used to have.
No.
When the old man died, everything changed.
Well, also, I will say this right now. The old man dying basically is what was the saving grace for Aaron Boone this year.
Yeah.
Because had George still been around, Aaron Boone would not be the manager of the Yankees right now. Because he wouldn't put up with this.
Nope.
I mean, you got to realize the Yankees have not won a World Series since 2009 when they beat Philly. That's, I think, the longest stretch they've been on, and this is going over a decade already.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Yankees, I mean, folks, if you remember for a while, the Yankees were known for buying pennants.
Yep.
I mean, if you remember back to that 2009 run, George went out and got CC Sabathia, he got AJ Burnett, and he got Mark Teixeira.
Yeah.
And he ended up going on and beating Philly in that World Series that year.
Yep.
But now,
what killed? And I'm going to say this: what was the demise of the Yankees for a while? Was the ALDS when they went up against the Red Sox. They were beating them 3-0, and the Red Sox came back and won the game 4, 19-9 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That put the spark in Boston, and that's what did them in.
Yeah, and it's been, and for the Yankees right now, especially now, you have a Houston team that is at the top. You have Cleveland right now is on the upswing. That AL East, especially that team up north, Costa's team, the Toronto Blue Jays, are not an easy team anymore. Hell, I'll even go as far as saying you're Red Sox.
Yeah. The Red Sox aren't the team that they were.
But my thing is this, though. It used to be for years that the Yankees pretty much dominated the American League.
Everybody turns and says, "Oh, we got 27 rings." Yeah, so.
Well, Yankee fans are like Cowboy fans. They try to live back in the 90s.
Not touching that one.
But unfortunately, it's true. When you look at Yankee fans, and then believe me, I know quite a few Yankee fans, and the comment they all say is, "Oh, we have 27 rings." I go, keyword, have.
Yeah. What have you done since 2009? Nothing.
I mean, you want your laugh? The Mets have been in the World Series more recently than Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't go well for the Mets, and we ended up getting embarrassed by the Kansas City Royals that year, but doesn't matter. My thing is this, though. The Yankees have to realize this isn't the 90s anymore.
No.
You don't have Jeter, Bernie Williams, Andy Pettitte, and none of those guys are walking through that door anymore. And the fact that
John, you're missing one of the most key opponents points for the Yankees. Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, you don't have him anymore.
You don't have him.
No.
When he retired, that changed the Yankees forever.
Because you knew with him, when he would come into the game, you knew the game was over.
As soon as you heard that Enter Sandman from Metallica, you knew most likely lights out.
But you realize now you don't have any closer now in baseball who's like that.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, the closers now that are in baseball are all mediocre, in my opinion.
They're Little League.
Yeah. Actually, that's what I'll pull up quickly. Who had the most saves this year? Because I guarantee you none of them were big name people. And hold on, saves. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm just looking right now, and it's like none of these guys even come remotely. I mean, okay, you want your laugh? There's a former Yankee, but was he a former Yankee or a former Met? No, former Met. My bad. Rafael Montero, who came up with the Mets in 2014. He's now apparently a closer for the Astros. And okay, I'll give you this one. Aroldis Chapman. Okay. He was the big closer for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 9 saves. I mean, the leader right now with the most saves is a guy on the Guardians by the name of this thing actually will load in. That'll be fantastic. Emmanuel Clace. And you're probably saying to yourself, who the hell is that? He is a right-handed pitcher, plays for the Cleveland Guardians. Here was his stats from this year. In 77 games, he had a 3-4 record with a 1.36 ERA, 72.2 innings pitched, 77 strikeouts, and had a WHIP of 0.73. Okay? I mean,
and who is that for the pitcher?
Emmanuel Clace. Mind you, career-wise, his career ERA is 1.47. So he does have a decent ERA. And he does pitch a lot of innings. He's pitched 165.2 innings, but he's also only played in 3 seasons. And in the 3 seasons, I mean, yeah, he has gone up, so to speak, in saves, where his first year he had 1 save, then he had 24 saves in 2021, then he had 42 saves in 2022. So he definitely has gone up, but I mean, half these guys here, I mean, if you go, hold on, let me see if I can find Rivera quickly and just go over his stats, because you talk about a guy who was lights out. Mariano Rivera, hold on, had a career ERA of 2.21. Had a record of 82-60, pitched 1,283.2 innings, had 1,173 strikeouts. But here's the kicker with him, Carl.
Yeah.
He had a WHIP of 1. And you can't. I mean, there were years. I'm looking back at his career stats right now. He had. I'm trying to see here. He had 1 year that his ERA was above a 3, and that was his rookie year back in '95. And that year his ERA was a 5.51. So to me, you can't. And like I said, Clace has decent numbers, but he doesn't have Mariano Rivera numbers.
No, nobody will ever have Mariano Rivera numbers.
I'll go even a step further. We'll never have another Mariano Rivera. We'll never have another Tom Brady, which I actually want to get into that once we get into some football talk, because apparently it seems like Mr. Brady has some off-the-field problems right now.
Well, before we get into that, Mr. Blaine, we did our picks for the wild card.
Yes.
And we've already got one wild card game decision.
And do you know that game actually made history today?
Why?
It was the first time a playoff game had gone over 13 innings without a run scored.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. It ended on the 15th inning.
Yep. So who ended up picking Cleveland? I'm assuming that's who we're talking about right now.
You, me, and Ryan picked Cleveland. Mr. Costa picked the Rays.
Yes, so now we're going to get Cleveland versus New York in the American League Divisional Series, which will be starting Tuesday night.
And I am actually watching the Seattle Toronto game right now, which, if it ends the way it is right now, Mr. Ryan and myself are 2 for 2
How bad is Toronto losing?
by 1 run. 10-9, bottom of the ninth, 2 out.
Jesus Christ.
2 strikes already on.
Carl, I look at it this way.
And Seattle is winning the series 1-0.
Carl, I'll put it this way. It can't be October baseball without a little drama, can it? Can't these games just be like 2-1 games, or like unfortunately we saw with the Mets last night, 7-1 blowouts, which I'm not thrilled with that. But again, I just looked at the score before we went live tonight. I think the Mets are up 1-0 right now.
1-0. Yes, I will watch that game in a minute while we are live on air.
And all I'm going to say is this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Seattle Mariners have clinched.
Nice. So it looks like now.
So Ryan and I are 2 for 2.
Okay, hold on. The news just broke on ESPN that apparently it also made history. That apparently the Mariners were down in this game. And apparently the Mariners were down more than 7 runs and came back and won. So right now, the way it's looking for the LDS, it's going to be New York versus Cleveland. Game 1 is October 11th. And then we will have Seattle taking on Houston. Game 1 is also going to be October 11th.
Which will be Tuesday.
Yes. I'm going to say this right now. Seattle, to me, this is a team that's a young team. The Mariners.
They're hungry.
They're hungry. And also, you also have to remember, like we mentioned when we were doing our picks, Seattle had not made it to the postseason in over 20-something years.
Yeah. But also, too, Seattle does something interesting, too.
What?
They do something I said every team should be doing. Just worrying about getting on base. Don't worry about home runs.
Yeah, I totally agree.
If it comes, it comes.
But like I said, also, you got a team that's hungry in the Mariners. A team that hasn't been in this position in years.
No.
And they want to prove people wrong. Except now they have a big test in their hands. Because now you got Houston. And my only fear is going to be this. If I'm the Astros, you haven't played since Friday was the last game? Was the end of the season? No, Wednesday. Wednesday was the last game of the season. And you haven't played in almost a week. You're going to have a little bit of rust coming out that game 1.
Yeah.
And if I'm Seattle, you want to come out to an early start in that series and then kind of push Houston to that brink a little bit. Because I'm just looking right now. Game 1, just looking here. Game 1 and 2 for that series would be in Houston. 3 and 4 would be in Seattle. And then Game 5 would be back in Houston.
Right. So, John, right now we're at the top of the third with the Mets still winning 1-0.
That was because Francisco Lindor hitting a home run. Just explain to people what happened with that. I will put it right now. If not, I'm going to say if, even though I am a Mets fan, if the Mets win this and tie this game up tie the series up 1-1 going into Sunday, you think Met fans were nuts going into the game Friday night? Folks, I'm saying this right now. You're not going to want to be near any Met fans come Sunday if this team wins tonight. Because it will probably be the biggest game of this season for them. because it's even though it's only game 3 in this series, it's going to be treated like game 7.
Yep.
And it's going to be treated like game 7. And I want to go quickly into that game actually from last night. Mets did lose 7-1. Max Scherzer got blown out big time.
Which is a rarity.
Yeah, but I'm also hoping that, which, by the way, who did they say was pitching tonight? Because I know it's not DeGrom. Because I know
Yes, it is.
Oh, he is pitching tonight.
Yes, he is. He's already up to 30 count.
Interesting, because originally they didn't want him to pitch in this series.
He's
but
pitching.
I think what happened was they realized that, if we lose, we're done. And I think right now, if I'm the Mets, this is the best option you can go with by putting DeGrom in. And right now, like I said, if I'm the Mets, you got DeGrom going in this game. If we pull this one off and win, it would set up probably Bassett for tomorrow. And then you got to remember, you would have a day off, which would be the travel day, because then game 1 would against Los Angeles would be out in California.
Yeah.
For that first game. So I don't know if I know for a fact the Mets don't want to be in this position right now. But again, I was actually talking about this with my dad a couple of days ago. I don't blame the Mets per se for how the season came to an end. I just think, to me, Atlanta just played out of their freaking minds.
Yeah.
When you go, I think they ended up going like 76-23 or something.
Something like that.
For most of but then also where I do blame the Mets is you didn't win the games you were supposed to win. If you go back
to the ones that are the problem, it's where you're supposed to win the game and you blow it.
I mean, if I go back to the schedule, I'll tell you exactly what did it for them. Go back to the stretch they had in September. Okay? When they had Chicago, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, and Oakland. All winnable games. Okay? They got swept by Chicago. They swept Pittsburgh and took 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee and took 2 out of 3 from Oakland. You can't do that. Nope. Not when you have a team like Atlanta who pretty much doesn't know how to lose.
Nope.
And I think they actually, if I remember correctly, no, the St. Louis Philly game is actually starting now. So I think the Mets game and the St. Louis game
7:37. 8:37.
Yeah, so they switched spots for right now.
Yes.
But I mean, you look at what we've seen so far. I mean, with this postseason, I mean, let me ask you, what happened?
1-1.
San Diego.
Grisham just hit a home run.
Oh boy. Okay.
400 foot. It was his 4-seam fastball, 100 mile an hour.
Jeez. And yes, folks, despite the fact we are a sports show, we will have periodic updates on what's going on in the pay-per-view tonight.
John, for the folks that are listening that John can't talk right, WWE Extreme Rules is tonight in Philadelphia. So that's where he is watching me, and I have the Mets game on.
Yeah.
Get it right, John. It's known as do your job.
I do my job well. I do it okay. But you look at, like I said, when you look at the whole postseason right now, I mean, it's crazy. And we're only in the start of it, folks. It's only the beginning. But, and like I said, folks, we will keep you not only up to date on what's going on at the premium live event called Extreme Rules, but we will also keep you guys up to date on what's going on in the Met game right now and the St. Louis game, because St. Louis and Philly are going to get started in about 10 minutes or so.
Yep.
But I know, Carl, we made our predictions, which the video did drop. If you want to go catch that and catch any of our videos, go to YouTube. Unfortunately, we do not have a URL at this moment. So if you would so kindly, please type in the ATR Network on YouTube. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. It does wonders for us. There, you'll get all of our YouTube exclusives. You'll get the videos for all of our shows, including this show, Casa's show, What is a Hit Record, and that other show that's on Tuesday nights. Yes, folks, I'm kidding. The Around the Ropes podcast Tuesday nights. That's where you'll get all your videos. Again, we appreciate it if you can subscribe to it. Like I said, folks, it costs you nothing. It does wonders for us. But I bring up those NFL picks for a reason. How bad did we do on that Thursday night game?
All four of us picked the Broncos.
Yeah. What the hell was that?
That was a clusterfuck.
Yeah. And supposedly, from what I read today, I think ESPN reported Russell Wilson played the last couple of games with a torn lat.
Yep.
Now, I don't think that's what caused him to look like, he has never thrown a football a day in his life. But, and it's funny because, like I said, people, if you don't know, my favorite sport is baseball. So I like close scoring games. Football, I don't like it when it becomes a kicker's galore or kicker's Omania, if you want to call it that. It felt like that whole game was just field goal after field goal. It's like, this is what the Amazon must be shitting their pants right now. Because they had that game this Thursday, and next Thursday, you want to talk about another bad game. Chicago Bears versus the Washington Commanders. Uh-huh. I'm not kidding you, folks. That's how bad these Thursday night games are getting. But with Denver right now, it's just like, I can't figure them out this season. They have these certain moments where, they are, they kind of have their head on straight. And then they got other moments where they don't. I mean, go back to the opening game when they played, who was it? The Chargers, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to go for that 64-yard field goal as time expired instead of going for a field goal that would have tied the game. Not, you know what I mean. This team makes no sense to me. I mean, Carl, what are your thoughts on the Broncos right now? And
they're a joke.
It's
a joke. Plain and simple.
And the fact that they paid Russell Wilson the amount of money they did, yeah, I think Denver wishes they never paid him that much money. Because it's like they can't figure out, and I think, hold on, I got to see who they have coming up next week. Because I know it's going to be another, fun game for them next week. But just give me a second, folks. I want to look this up quickly. Again, folks, I hope you're enjoying the show tonight. Definitely, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, definitely chime in. We love to hear from you. Coming up next week for the Broncos, we go to week 6. They got. Please tell me they have a bye. Please tell me they have a bye. Oh no, they have the Monday night game next week.
And who are they playing?
The Chargers in LA. I mean, don't kid yourself. I know we're not gonna make our picks right now. Yes, Carl?
Runners on the corners.
And the Met game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Because Mr. DeGrom decided to walk a player.
Jesus H. Mother of Christ.
He decided to walk Pro 4.
I'll say this right now, folks. If the Mets lose, I'm going to be a very pissed off little boy. But Carl, you want to hear who the Sunday night game is next week?
Sure.
And actually, for once, it's actually a decent game. The Dallas Cowboys will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
And of course, the lovely Giants play the Baltimore Ravens next week.
Soto just stole second base.
Ah, crap. Typical Mets fashion. We have a good lead and we fucking blow it. And it's just like, come on. I mean, I can't with this Mets team anymore. I can't figure them out. I have moments where I sit there and go, okay, maybe this team finally turned it around. And they don't.
Again, it's the Mets.
Yep. Well, what's the old saying with the Jets? Just end the season?
Yeah.
The Mets, it's like,
must end the season.
I'm sorry. If they can't get past San Diego, then they need a lot more help than I thought they did. Because I remember when San Diego ended up going out and getting Juan Soto.
Yeah, who's on second base right now?
Yeah, I know.
And Machado's up on is at the plate.
Oh, Mother Mary Joseph. I can't with this team. I cannot for the life of me with this team. Because, like I said, this team is a joke. I mean, granted, yeah, if they win, I'll be happy. But from what you're saying right now, it doesn't look too good for them. And it's
Machado swung out. End of the now it's the lineup. It's Fedor, Alonso, and Canha.
Okay. All right. Hopefully the Mets can keep this going. But there is some NFL news I want to get to. And it's regarding Mr. Brady. If you have not been keeping up with, the Real Housewives of Tampa Bay lately, it seems that old Giselle there has filed for divorce from Mr. Brady. Because apparently Mr. Brady, she is pissed off at Mr. Brady. Because he was supposed to have retired, and now he's back playing. But, I mean, Carl, let me ask you this. What's your thoughts on the whole Brady-Giselle situation?
Okay, I'm going to say this. I know you're not supposed to bring your home life to your job, and as a professional athlete, you should be setting an example, and he's not. No. And you know what? He deserves whatever he's going to get to him right now. And I'm sorry. It's the way I feel.
Oh no, I completely agree with you. And to me, it's ridiculous that it's almost like, I mean, yeah, granted, I'm not going to take away the fact that he's one of the best players out there. Okay. I'm not going to take that away from him. But on the flip side, it's like, you got to get your shit together, man. If you're going to stay retired at this point.
Yep.
You've had a long enough career already. It's almost like, I don't want to bring wrestling into this because we talk wrestling every Tuesday. But it's almost, and Carl, you're going to get to where I'm going with this in a second. He has nothing left to prove.
No.
He owns pretty much every record. He has the most Super Bowl rings out of any quarterback in history. He owns most of the records. So it's like, what else does he have to prove at this point? He has to prove that, I can still play. Yeah, I mean, granted, it's interesting to see him play still right now being that he is, north of 40, and usually when you get to that age, is usually the down part of your career, not the upswing of it. But when you look at, what he's done, yeah, granted, let me pull up his stats quickly for this year because I think that's going to help a lot with, this argument here. But I just forgot what I was about to say. Let me see something here. And then I want to get into the update, the development stories with the Tua situation.
Right.
Because apparently the NFL and the NFLPA have agreed to modify concussion protocols. But I'll get to that in a second. Just give me a second here. Okay, here we go. Tampa Bay.
So,
okay.
Go ahead, John.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was just going to give a couple of updates on the NFL.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So, the Jets activated their Brown from the injury reserve to help lift the offensive line.
Okay.
And Saints to start quarterback Dalton, wide receiver Thomas is still out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see why is that coming up with Brady's stats right now. Oh, here we go. Brady's stats right now, being that we're in this is week 5 we're about to hit?
Yeah. We're in week 5 now.
We're in week 5 now, yeah. Good point. Brady has thrown 1,058 yards, has a completion percentage of 68.39, and has 6 touchdown passes.
6 only at
That's
this
it.
point?
That's it. Hold on, let me see, because it says here. Let me take a look here. Here's what's sad. He's not even in the top 5 for passing yards.
No.
You want to take a guess who's number 1?
Sure. Go ahead. Who is it?
No, I was going to say, do you want to take a guess?
I would have sent Mac Jones, but it's not.
Nope. I'll give you this hint. He plays in the AFC South.
Patrick Mahomes? Who?
Matt Ryan.
Really?
1,376 yards.
Nice.
But then, I want to see something. I want to see even team-wise. Here's what's scary. Here's what's sad, though. Everybody is projecting Tampa Bay to be like this dominant team coming up this year.
Mm-hmm.
I just went through league leaders in every category. They're not even in the top 5 in any of these categories. You want your laugh? Total offense right now is the Detroit Lions. 1,747. Russian offense, some team from New York called the Giants. But it's just the whole thing with the Giants, with the Tom Brady right now, to me is just, you said it perfectly, Carl. Just leave your yes.
I just looked at something from the sports section here in Jersey.
Okay.
And it says here, Yankees speedy infielder leaves via free agency.
Who?
Tyler Wade.
Oh.
He He's 27 years old. Tyler Wade returned but never made it back to the Bronx. He elected free agency on Thursday.
Oh.
The Yankees traded for Wade with the Angels on July 14th after Los Angeles designated him for assignment. He appeared on the Yankees practice squad but never got into a game above AAA, which is interesting.
Yeah, but I don't think free agency starts yet like that. But again, I mean, he's not a big name. He's not a big name. So to me, he won't be missed. I'll put it that way. But actually, let me pull up right now what's going on at the premium live event right now. Just in case people are watching and would like to know.
But also, too, it seems that yesterday,
okay,
2 major league, I wouldn't say players. Well, one's a former player, one's a radio host for the Yankees. Got some major heat on them right now for non-Yankees playoff broadcast.
Oh?
Yeah. So these 2 individuals called Game 1 of the NL West Wild Card Series between St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies, and the fans called them out on Twitter. Would you like to know who the commentation team was?
Sure.
Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez. They are being called out by fans.
Can I tell you I'm not surprised? But why, Carl, why are they being called out by fans?
Because they both, one played for the Yankees, the other one broadcast for the Yankees. However, they are part of the ESPN's alternate broadcast.
Yep. And they're not going to be calling the Yankee games.
No.
Quick update right now of what's going on over at Extreme Rules. The Brawlin' Brutes have defeated Imperium in a good old fashioned Donnybrook match. Whatever the hell that means, I have no idea.
I don't either.
So yeah, I think they're about to start now the women's championship match between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. But I mean, you look at this team, and again, folks, if you have any questions, anything sports related, definitely leave them in the chat. We'll definitely get to them throughout the show tonight. And I mean, you look at You look at with you brought up that he filed for free agency.
Yes.
I think that was more of he filed for it, but it's not official until the season is done. And by the season done, I mean World
After
Series.
the World Series is over.
Yeah. Which isn't, I think they said something like Game 7 of this year's World Series has the potential to go into November.
Yeah.
Which is the first time that's going to happen in a number of years.
Yep.
But, I mean, like I said, folks, it's going to be a crazy, when it comes to MLB with the postseason, it's going to be a crazy, crazy couple of weeks. There's no other way about it. And then, like I said, football, you have, if you're a Giants fan, you actually have an early game tomorrow. 9:30 start time.
Yep.
in London as the Giants will be playing the Green Bay Packers. It was also reported today Daniel Jones will be playing in that game, despite the fact that I know it was talked about all week, and I think we had even mentioned it that they were working out. Who was it? AJ McCarron.
Yes.
That's not the case as of now. They will be starting Daniel Jones tomorrow morning. What's going to be interesting, and I was talking about this with somebody at work, if we're able to beat Green Bay, because I've said it for a while now, this is our true first test here. To me, if we're able to beat the Packers, then I think people are going to start looking at us as a legitimate team. Because after the Packers, I'm actually going to pull up who the Giants have coming up after. And just give me a second here. Folks, I just have to go to the Giants page quickly. You would think it'd be easier to find the Giants page, being that, it's Giants. But right now, I don't need stats. Okay, here we go. We have Green Bay this week. Next week, we have Baltimore. Again, that's not really a big test, being that, what's going on right now with Lamar Jackson. Then we got Jacksonville week 7. And then we have Seattle week 8. And right now we're 3-1. So there is a chance, depending on by the time we get to the bye week, which will be the beginning of November.
9. Week 9.
Yeah, there is a good chance. There's a good chance we could be 6-1, or if not 6-2, by that point. Because if you go, and I'm just looking right now, between Baltimore, I think we can beat Jacksonville. I know we can definitely beat them. And Seattle, I mean, like I said this a couple of nights ago, I think Seattle's a good team right now.
But then, John, real quick, week 12, you guys have the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And that's Thanksgiving. Oh. That's prime time.
But here's your other test, was week 14.
Yeah, against Philly. But I think realistically, and this is what's going to get interesting now, because if you look at the Giants, I would say we haven't. Oh no, we did play one divisional team already, and the Cowboys back in week 3.
And in this week 16, you have the Vikings.
Vikings are not a tough team. Vikings are not a tough team at all. But the funny thing is, though, you look at how this all is playing out right now. What happened?
Wow. Week 18 has not been decided the times yet, but that's the Eagles versus the Giants.
But
and in week 17, you got the Colts, which is nothing.
No, but I mean, you look at it this way. We got Houston week 10. I'm just going to call it right now. Houston is a beatable team. And then we got Detroit week 11. If we can contain their offense and they don't score 45 points on us, we'll be fine. Week 12 is where it's going to get interesting. I would say right now, looking at the Giants' schedule, week 12, week 14, and week 18 are going to be the big games for us. Because I don't consider Washington to be a big game for us. We can beat them. They're not, the most difficult team. But then, Carl, let's look at your team. They have their schedule up right now. You guys have Detroit on Sunday. You guys have Detroit tomorrow.
Yes.
You guys have Cleveland then the 16th.
Browns.
Yep, and then you guys got Chicago Monday night on the week of the 24th.
Yep.
I think those 3 games, Detroit may be a little difficult, but Cleveland I think could be beatable. Chicago is definitely beatable. Then you play the Jets. Have fun.
You know what's the one that actually worries me the most?
Which one?
Minnesota. The 24th of November.
No, I think the one that would concern me is who you guys have December 12th, week 14.
The Cardinals.
Yeah, that would be the one that would scare the crap out of me.
Technically, those two games are the ones that scare me the most.
And that one, the Cardinals game, is a Monday night game.
Yep.
That's a Monday night game, but no, I mean you guys get, and the funny part is you get the Jets week 8, and then you get the Jets right after your bye.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, I want to see week 8. Is that
Right now in the standings, the Patriots are in last place in the AFC East.
And here's the funny thing: week 8, you're in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Week 11, it's in New England.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's funny. I mean, we say that now, but how many times have the Jets and Patriots, especially back in the days of Brady, have always been that, interesting game that you don't expect to happen?
Exactly.
And so to me, it's like, but then you can look at a lot of the other teams. You can look at a lot of the other teams right now, and it looks like Liv Morgan did retain her title tonight.
Told you.
Yep. Oh wait, no. Never mind.
She lost?
Yeah. Looks like Ronda did win the. Wait, I'm confused here now. Hold on. Yeah, I stand correct on that. Ronda Rousey is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. So okay. So we got one title change. But here's the funny part, though. First of all, I'm surprised they did that. Because what they did there, and I know this is supposed to be a sports show, but I just want to get into this thing a little, momentarily. Extreme Rules Tonight's in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
If people don't know, Liv Morgan is from Jersey.
Yes, she is.
That was a Vince. That I'm not saying that was a Vince move per se, but I am just saying that would be a Vince mindset type of thing.
Yeah.
Where Vince would, where Vince would have a person lose the title in their hometown. But obviously, we have a lot going on right now for both shows. Carl, is there anything else you want to touch on with the sports stuff? Because I think we may be calling this an early show tonight.
No, I'm all set. But I do have one thing to say, though, that's not sports related.
Okay.
Folks, for those of you that have been following the challenges on Tuesday night from Mr. Blaine to myself, he called me out when I posted a White Castle picture of a ghost pepper sandwich that they have. Well, he challenged me. I accepted it. Well, he decided to step it up a little bit with more antics. I added to that by adding hot sauce to it. Well, you need to follow us on Tuesday. You need to watch Tuesday night because I'm upping it one more. And I just turned around and told Mr. Blaine when the next spicy chip challenge is going to be. And I already told the promoter when it's going to be, and Natron says yes. So you want to stay tuned on Tuesday night to find out when.
And also, folks, and we have another announcement to make on Tuesday that's not involving how my asshole is going to be on fire. Because, folks, we have been talking about motor oil coffee on this show now. It seems like for the last 25 years, but no, folks, it's only been last month. And, folks, Tuesday night, we can officially show you guys a picture. We don't have the actual. Oh, actually, no. We may be able to show you the actual one. I stand corrected. Folks, you're not going to want to miss Tuesday's show because we will have the debut of the Around the Ropes podcast coffee, courtesy of our friends over at Motor Oil Coffee, who I got to give Freddie a lot of credit because, like I said, we've only started that a month ago. I remember it was the weekend of the Hall of Fame.
Yes, it was.
Which was only a month ago.
Yes, it was.
So you're not going to want to miss that. And then I guess we'll preview quickly what we have coming up on Tuesdays Around the Ropes podcast.
Yep.
We will have all of your fallout, not only from Bound from Glory, but also what's going on tonight over in Extreme Rules. We'll have all that for you on Tuesday. In addition to that, there'll be a few guests stopping by. At 8:30, you know him from the Karate Kid franchise movie. You also know him from Cobra Kai. If you're a fan of soap operas, you have seen him on several soap operas, including General Hospital and so on. Sean Kanan will be joining the program at 8:30. Talk a little bit about Cobra Kai. You're not going to miss that. At 9 o'clock, Carl, it's confirmed for 9 for this next guest. Would you like to announce it? Because I know he's your favorite wrestler.
Mr. Trey Felipe will be on at 9 p.m.
Yes.
And you get to watch the interaction between me and him.
Yes, because it's going to be how many times can he flip you off?
Mm-hmm.
So again, folks, you know all that. And we may also have some other people jumping in because actually a good friend of ours was at Bound for Glory.
Yes, she was.
So we may be getting her on to talk about what it was like in that building that saw the return of Bully Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had an interesting moment in there involving Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, and Rhino. You're going to have to tune in and find out what the hell we're talking about. So that all goes down Tuesday at a special start time, folks. I want to stress this. Special start time of 7:45 p.m. Because, folks, we're going to have a lot to talk about, especially if a certain rabbit debuts tonight on Extreme Rules. So you're not going to want to miss that. Again, folks, go to our YouTube page. Again, you're going to have to search the ATR Network. We just dropped an interview we did with Chad Clark of IPO Marketing ahead. And actually, I will get to that in a second because we previewed Baltimore Celeb Fest 5 happening next Sunday in Millersville, Maryland. And a certain podcast will be there live and in person. Carl, I wonder who that podcast would be.
Don't know. But also letting our fans know, next week we will not be on the air.
Yes, we will not be here. Well,
actually, technically, the next 3 weeks we will not be on air because we will be at wrestling shows.
So we will have a lot more specials coming out.
Correct.
So you're not going to, and believe me, folks, we'll keep you guys posted to when we're coming back live. But folks, for the next couple of weeks, you're gonna get a lot of tape material, unfortunately. And then, but don't worry, folks, because
YouTube exclusives strictly just for you fans.
Yes, and folks, don't worry. When we come back live, you'll get to hear all the experiences of the last couple of weeks. Trust me, folks, we're not going to leave you guys out of this. But again, folks, you definitely want to. I will say this much: we've been doing the show now almost 11 months. Tuesday's show. What?
Today's the what date? The 8th?
Today is the 8th.
10 months and
8 days. Yeah, 10 months and a week.
Mm-hmm.
This show we have coming up for you guys Tuesday night is probably our biggest show we have ever done.
So far. But because we ain't stopping.
No, you're not going to want to miss that. Because, yeah, like I said, We have a lot of stuff to break down with you guys. Of course, we'll have the whole team here next week. If you guys haven't had an opportunity tonight or have an opportunity this weekend, go to Fight TV to go watch the figure wrestling. What's it? What's Cardona's other company? FWIW or something?
FWF.
FWF, yes. Because you're going to recognize the ring announcer for both of those shows.
That is tomorrow's show.
Yep, and I'm saying also tonight because they have WrestlePro tonight.
Yeah.
In Brooklyn.
Yes.
So, folks, again.
Which is their 100th episode.
No, that's the 12th of November.
Is it?
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
But, folks, again, you're not going to want to miss that. Definitely give some love to our buddy Ryan there. And, yeah. Also, I want to send a happy Canadian Thanksgiving Day, if that's the right term to use.
Yeah.
To all of our listeners and followers up in the Canada area, which includes our co-host Costa, which is why he's not on tonight. Carl, anything else you want to get to before we wrap up?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Just you're going to realize why you're going to die on Tuesday.
Okay. But guys, we appreciate everybody who watched us tonight. David, again, thank you for commenting in the chat below. We definitely appreciate that. And yeah, on that note, we will catch you guys Tuesday night with and again, I'm going to stress this again and actually, before we end the show, stay tuned to our social media accounts, which is we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're everywhere you can be, because we're going to stress this enough. Our start time on Tuesday is 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Because, like I said, folks, we have a lot to get to on Tuesday.
Do you know how to talk, John?
Apparently, I don't.
Yeah, we know.
Again, for Carl and the rest of the crew here at the Sticky Finger Sports Show, I'm John. It's been another installment, and we'll catch you guys Tuesday night for the Around the Ropes podcast.
See ya!